What's up everyone, my name is Will from Ghost Hack, and today I'm going to be taking you through my entire process of making a really dope wavetable in Serum by importing an audio file. Now the reason I specify, by importing an audio file is because I've already done a tutorial in the past on this channel about, making wavetables from editing the sounds inside of Serum and starting with a frame and then kind of rendering the bending options, and you can go check that out. But in this tutorial I wanted to cover something a little different, which is importing the audio files. And it's very easy to just take an audio file, take any audio file, and then just drop it right into here. But it's very hard to take that audio file and make it a good full wavetable. So I don't have a specific audio file chosen. I'm just going to go through my library and find something that I think will make an interesting wavetable. I'll tell you why it will make an interesting wavetable, and then we'll see if I'm actually right and we can try to make some cool tables. So actually what I think I want to do is take some samples from the Ghost Hack Unique Drums pack. If you just Google Ghost Hack Unique Drums, it should pop right up. And I want to use some of the glitch percussions because these sound very interesting. They sound really neat, and I want to find the best one that I think would work for wavetable. Alright, I think I want to try either 18 or 19. I don't know which one will work better, but I chose them because they have some solid low end, at least a little bit of low end frequency action going on. You can see right up there, as opposed to something more along the lines of this. It's not quite as useful down there. So I'm going to start with 18 and we'll see how we can import this. Let's try normal and just see how it goes. We're getting something interesting. Let's lower it down 2 octaves. Wasn't a complete failure, but it's a little messy. Let's try the other one. Yeah, not a total flop, but it needs to be better than this. I know I can get it better. Okay, this one I think is the best one so far, but it's very messy. Let me try one of these down here. I don't really like these two that much. Let's try 1024. It's pretty decent. Actually, I'm going to go to 512. Yeah, no, I think I'm going to go with this kind, but I want to try something else first. What I want to do is I want to try to import via fixed frame size. Now this is good if none of those options are really working well, if they're all sounding messy. It's a good idea to try and do this. So now I just have to navigate to find which one I like. This was Glitch Percussion 18. And I'm going to say 1000 samples. It's a good way to just start out. So, and now it's imported it with 1000 samples a piece, and it looks pretty nice. That is an interesting table, so we can definitely work with this here. First thing we have to do is get rid of the nothing at the end. I'm actually going to get rid of 16 on, so let's go select it until end. And now we have 15 of our favorite frames going here. We can go ahead and normalize each one right here so they're all the same level. And they all kind of work together, but obviously they have to be a lot smoother, so we can go through and morph one of these. I'm going to try zeroing fundamental phase with the spectral because usually that works out pretty well. I can normalize it. No, I don't really like that. It sounds too, it's wavy in the sense that it pulses up and down as I'm going through it. Like the main tables seem to be louder than the individual tables. So in this situation, I'm just going to go crossfade. Well, first I can remove any DC offset. Okay, I removed a little bit. And then I can go process normalize and morph crossfade. So maybe this will be a little bit smoother. I like to think that that's a little bit smoother, and this sounds like a pretty interesting table. I can go ahead and save this as something right now, but we can do more to this than just leave it as is right there. It sounds interesting, but we can do more. What I think I want to do is add some kind of bending to it. I can hear this one sounding pretty cool with maybe a bend minus. There we go. So now that sounds pretty awesome. Don't want to do it too much. I'll just go with 30%. And now what we can do is we can do this. We can make sure this is set like this and on envelope and on one bar. So it's just one ramp going one time on one bar. And now we can assign it to the wavetable position. Sounds pretty cool. But now what we can do is we can turn this on and bring this down a couple octaves as well. Make sure to turn it down so there's no level. And now we can resample this to oscillator B by going menu and then resample to oscillator B. And now it looks like we have our table. It looks a little bit different because it's resampled, but now it should sound pretty much the same. Yep, it sounds pretty much the same and everything sounds good. And if you want to, you can make sure, everything's good by going in and removing the any DC offset and normalize it all, getting separately, and you can go in and do those things. But really, I like this wavetable a good deal more. And so you could go back and forth with this. Now we could add our own kind of effects here. Maybe I want some kind of asymmetrical. But for the sake of the tutorial and keeping it simple, I'm going to leave that there. And now we can make another wavetable. And I think I'm going to use the other percussion. This one is slightly more low frequency than the other one. But let's try these first methods. They're not always quite as crisp as the other ones, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and import via fixed frame size. Go 19. It's already at 1000. Beautiful. And now we've separated it out. Now this looks like a lot more solid of a wavetable. Already, that's cool. Now we are going to have to do some surgery on this one because there's cool stuff in here. I like the juiciness of it right there, but there's also cool stuff here. And there's like nothing at the end and in the middle, so we're gonna have to trim out a lot. All right, so going through here seems to be pretty all right, but we come across these tables that have kind of a clicking to them versus the ones beside them. 10 has a clicking, so there are a bunch of those wavetables in there, so we can go process and then X fade edges. I like kind of going 16 sample. It's a little bit smoother than the grid size. Or it messes with the wavetable less in that sense. The grid size is dependent on these, but I like the 16 sample. It's just pretty quick and easy. All right, this one right here is where it kind of starts to break character on this side, so it's 19. And then 31 is where things kind of start to come back in. So let's hold shift and select 19 through 31. And now we can remove the multi-selection. Now let's also remove 20 because it's a little bit dinky. Now there's a bunch of other garbage right here that we can definitely get rid of, the multi-selection. Actually, these wavetables at the end seem pretty out of place, so I'm just going to go ahead and scrap those as well, and we'll just be done with those. Now we have 18 tables that we kind of like. I can tell this is going to be a very squelchy wavetable. But first off, I would definitely normalize them all gain separately, just to make sure they all have the same volume. And then I would probably try and morph it spectral with zeroing the fundamental phase. I like to do that if it sounds good because it usually turns out to be the cleanest, especially in the low end. Okay, it didn't turn out bad. I'm going to try crossfade though. So let's go morph crossfade. I like crossfade. I don't know if it's just in my ears, but it sounds pretty good. So let's normalize all these frames. And you could say you're done with the table. But I am not, because I'm not fully happy with how it sounds. Let's do the same sort of thing again. I could do bend minus like before. To make it sound more growly and squelchy like that, but I could also do asymmetrical. It sounds kind of monstrous in the beginning. Yeah, I'm definitely going to go with the asymmetrical plus here. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to set it up the same way as I did in the last table. I'm going to set this up like this. For envelope mode, going on 1 bar with the fully on the wavetable position, and then I can turn on oscillator B, turn the level down, pump it down a couple octaves so it's matched with this, and now I can go ahead and resample to oscillator B. See how this turns out. Alright, it looks pretty alright. It tends to look cleaner than the original file I've seen. It tends to be a little brighter and smoother. So that's good, at least visually. Alright, now I think that sounds pretty good, but I think what I want to do is actually ease back a little bit on this asymmetrical, like maybe not 60%, maybe we'll just go 50%, maybe just a little bit less. And that's the thing, you can tweak these all the time because you're making the wavetable really from scratch. So you can do this whenever you want. So now let's resample the oscillator B again. There we go. And let's see if this sounds maybe a little better. I'm actually a fan of this. We could go in and you could do all the things like remove the DC offset and, normalize everything and make sure it's all good. And then you could just go in and save it like the other ones. All right, so that is all I want to talk to you about today. And you can import a bunch of different things other than just like glitchy weirdness, especially if you want to make heavy wavetables. You can import other previously made sounds, especially when you have different basses and, cool things that are already sounding cool, and then you throw them in here, it could sound that much more awesome, especially as a wavetable because you can take it through all of everything that Serum can do. So thank you guys so much for watching the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video. Happy producing.